we'll be able to work through that. Again, we don't need perfection. We need to be making progress, and that's big progress compared to what he did last time. Let's do another one. Hey everybody, Ethan here, back with another session with Legend here. Last time, we were working on collar conditioning to fetch, and we saw a couple things. A, he's starting to get a pretty good understanding. We actually did a proofing process to say, yes, you understand what the collar means to fetch. You're not getting frantic. You're not acting like you don't see the bumper or that you don't understand. So he showed us that. And then in that session also, we struggled with a couple attempts to fetch moving that direction, but he did great moving this direction to fetch. So we're gonna try and work through that today and then hopefully get to move into some new objects. Pretty much everything with collar conditioning thus far has been with that little red fire hose bumper. So we're gonna make some changes and we're gonna get started. Let's see here. Here's one right here. Okay, so we're gonna start with a little bit of a warm up. I'm gonna unclip you, sir. Fetch. Good. Got his collar set on a 5 here. Today I'm using the MR1100. We usually use DT Systems H2O 1820, but we're using something different today. Fetch. Good. I'm starting this movement this way, and even now, hold. Hold. Good. You can see him. He's wanting to, and maybe you couldn't see that perfectly, but he's still wanting to turn back toward this end of the table, and having my hand being more persistent of the object's here, you need to fetch it, dude, is keeping him moving this way. So this is kind of a baby step. All of these things, and we talk about this on several occasions, I've mentioned this is the hardest learning curve of training your own dog because every single dog is different, and you kind of have to just feel your way through their issues or their struggles in this process. And right now, one of his struggles is moving this direction. Ultimately, he needs to be able to move around and do everything. So what I'm doing right now is kind of being persistent with keeping my hand there, which is also something we've talked about needing to get away from. So we've done a couple this way. I'm gonna have him fetch back this way, which he's more comfortable with, and then we'll see if we can, kind of sneak one in down at this end of the table and get him to do it. Come on, almost like tricking his brain. We're gonna set this bad boy down here. You're gonna come with me. Good, and then we're gonna send him back with fetch, and then nick, until he picks it up. Good boy, now come back here. Ha-ha, here. What did you think, that line was gonna jump out and get you? Hold, good. We're gonna set up another one, a little further on the table, come on. Setting that there. Fetch, fetch, nick. Good boy, here. These are a lot better fetches than yesterday's session, or last session, I guess it wasn't yesterday. It's one of those things where he is getting better with reps. It's also important to not beat things into the ground. Get a little progress in these sessions. It's a lot of formal work for these guys, and it can be mentally exhausting. And even just giving them that short break, we can go back to seeing some of the better fetching that we were, even though we never got a real good fetch in that last session. So it's a hard concept for my brain. It's a hard concept for the average brain to go, that wasn't really all that good, but it was progress, and I should be able to see the progress there, and then realize that next time we come in, it's gonna be even better for them. Now we're gonna try. This is what he struggled with last time. We're gonna get one out this way and see how much help he needs, but ultimately I want him to be able to go this direction to fetch something. Good. Fetch. See, he tried to go back to this end of the table, so I'm gonna walk with him. Fetch, but I'm putting distance between me and him. Fetch. Good. We got him to grab that here. I don't like that little fix, that little set down, but we'll be able to work through that. Again, we don't need perfection. We need to be making progress, and that's big progress compared to what he did last time. Let's do another one. Good. Now, I do need to point this out here, and then we're gonna do a few reps without slowing down his momentum. This bumper, I said this in the beginning, but this bumper is very much different from this bumper. And it's going to be more difficult for him to grab this. It's going to be even more difficult for him to grab one this way. And if one's sitting over here on the edge, this sucker is going to be borderline invisible with the average dog. You have to work through these progressions. complete sideways. He doesn't have to think about it. Come right in and grab it is the easiest, and that's what we're going to do right now. And then we may work into some of these harder angles and directions on the table and everything else with him, depending on what we see. So, sideways bumper, easy one. Good. Fetch. Nick on the collar, still feeling it. Nick, Nick, Nick. Walking with him. Putting lots of separation. Now he's acting like, ooh, that thing's invisible, but wait a second, I can pick it up on the way back. Huh. Hold. We need to get past that. I don't know if we're ready to do that today or not, but we're gonna try another one that's a little closer and then utilize just a little bit more pressure on the collar, a little higher level, and that's gonna give him a little bit more urgency to go grab that because he obviously saw it. He walked right over top of it. He knows it's there. He's choosing not to grab it, or there's some kind of mental block for him. So we've gone up a couple clicks here. We're gonna say fetch, fetch. A verbal reminder there. Good, that was much better. Here, I just don't like this slop, and we're gonna have to fix that. But ultimately, we can only work on one thing at a time. Let's get another one here, build a little momentum. Fetch, fetch. Good, here. Vibrate. It's a good thing to utilize. That gets a little pep in his step coming back. Hold. Let's go a little bit longer here. Good. Fetch. Look at that, guys. Awesome. Here. Nice job, bud. So we've worked through that. Now, we've still got a good hold here. He's waiting until I take it from him. I want this. This is a strong hold and understanding of hold. And it's ultimately, he's not vice gripped on the thing to where I can't get it away from him. He's just gonna hold on to it, which is ultimately why we're here. Most of our dogs are struggling retrieving to hand, and we are developing a better retrieve this way. So let's pick one of these other objects that he's done well with and see if we can just get a fetch or two off the table. Standard DT systems, canvas, dummy. These things are dynamite. Dogs love them. Fetch. Good. Here. Don't go be walking down there now. Yeah. Okay. Good. Fetch. Good. Hold. Yeah, that's different weight, isn't it? Different shape. Good. Let's toss that sucker down there. Fetch. We've gone down a couple clicks on the collar. I worked all the way up to about an 8 or a 9, and now he's on a 6. Good. 5-6 has been a better working level for him. New object, fetch. He's doing well with. Good. Hold. Now you can see the massive amount of progress we've made in this session. I am not going to get greedy here. I'm going to say that looked really good. We're going to go ahead and end his session now, knowing that we have made progress to the point of a different object, as well as he is fetching both directions on the table, and he's not needing my help to walk down there with him. Those are all huge, 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 huge steps. So I am the guy with the pink gun. This is Legend, and we'll both see you in his next video.